ENCA's Gordhan Whittles has been following that story for us, and he joins me now. So, Pravin and Busisiwe Mkhwebane eventually coming to face to face. Do we know what actually transpired?
Well, one thing we know for sure is that most of the questioning and answering was happened directly between them. And that's because the public protector had said that according to the Act, when you appear before the public protector, you are allowed legal assistance, but not legal representation. So you can't take...
Don't we know that from that infamous Jacob Zuma episode?
Quite right. So you can't arrive there with lawyers and have them do all the talking. But if we go by Mr. Malachi, Mr. Gordhan's attorney, his statements on social media, then it seems that Mr. Gordhan, he really performed very well, because Mr. Malachi was saying that he was able to articulate all the issues regarding the pension payout without much assistance from the legal team. So the public protector and the minister finally sat down and discussed it, and I had a chance to speak to the minister afterwards. Essentially, he believes that he was able to settle this matter once and for all, that his explanation was satisfactory and laid all the facts on the table. But of course, as you alluded there, Bravuyo, that he believes it was malicious and that this is all just part of a distraction to keep him from the work that he's doing to undo state capture, as it were. But I had a chance to speak to the minister, and let's have a look at what he said.
I think we very clearly demonstrated that as Minister of Finance, we operated, and I operated, in a very open and transparent way, and no decision was made without very careful consultation with lawyers and public administration experts. And as far as I'm concerned, the retirement was legal. The rehiring on a contract basis of Mr. Pillay was equally necessary and legal. And what we call the payment, which is actually an actuarial deficit, was something that the law required to be done. So all of that is consistent with the law. We can't take responsibility for how others want to interpret some of these things, but you know, with public institutions like SOEs being in the trouble that they are, I think our time can be better spent.
Of course, we can't look at this meeting without considering the broader political climate at the moment. Why do you think that you came under so much pressure to appear before the public protector?
No, I think that the complaint in the first instance was a malicious one, and but the law requires us to cooperate with the public protector, so we're here, we've given the answers, we've given the explanations, and as you can see, we have lawyers here who have verified the fact that everything we've done is within the law.
For your part, the public protector, has she said anything?
She made a brief statement after the meeting describing it as cordial, that they had a good discussion. And it seems that she was happy with the information that she was able to extract. But of course, Bravuyo, here, the only thing that really matters is to find out whether the public protector intends pursuing this matter any further. And it's entirely in her court. Remember that when Busisiwe Mkhwebane first released a statement in response to Pravin Gordhan saying that he had not avoided her, she pointed out that her inquiry was in a preliminary stage. And we do know that the complaint was laid by a former speechwriter in President Jacob Zuma's office. And she said that she doesn't need anything more than a complaint and even a few media articles to start an investigation. So we're expecting a word from the Public Protector's office pretty soon about whether or not she'll escalate this to a full-blown investigation. But if we go by Minister Gordhan's comments, it seems as if he thinks he's put it all behind him by giving an adequate explanation to Busisiwe Mkhwebane.
Well, clearly, I mean, Pravin Gordhan is sticking to his version that he has done everything. He has done everything that he's been asked to do by the public protector. In her whatever test sort of reply or response that they gave to the media today, did she clarify at least that part as to whether indeed she had contacted the minister 4 times and the minister didn't comply?
No, she actually didn't. What we heard today was just a basic summary of how the meeting had gone. Of course, we do know that there are two versions of exactly what led to the public protector finally issuing that subpoena. And Minister Gordhan, as you said, is sticking to his story, and the public protector is not giving out any more information. In fact, just before the meeting had started, she put out a statement saying that we've been inundated with requests to find out exactly what the content of or the agenda of the meeting and the content would be, but the public protector won't be saying anything. That's what she had said. So for now, it seems that Busisiwe Mkhwebane is keeping her cards close to her chest. She's not revealing whether or not she intends taking this further. She also is not responding to the minister's utterances that he, in fact, was in constant communication with her and there was no deliberate avoidance of her office.
Oh, even more reason for, I guess, anyone to believe that there is more to this than meets the eye. But Gordhan, thanks very much for coming through. Gordhan Whittles, who was, of course, outside Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane's office.